Hey. Good. How are you?
On the way. On the zero, but I'm
I got some stuff from my friends.
I see everyone.
Well, people were wondering about that.
Right. We will come back to Yeah, but it doesn't affect electric cars. The cars are fine, bad or good weather. All right, unless you gotta leave. It's, yeah, really, I agree. Hey, Vaughn, can you see me in the frame?
Yeah.
Am I out of the frame or?
Yeah. Yeah, I got your right shoulder.
That should
Yeah,
be, I'm good here. I just want to make sure because I'm really tall and the speakers aren't very tall. So I don't know. Down here, they're probably.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I got some top of that. So.
Well, I think what it is. That was my attempt to get everyone's attention. I guess it's getting old. So who watches Monty Python? I'm guessing probably not enough people watch this video to want to call me on copyright. To play that video, to play that song, play that video on live recording.
Oh, you're not supposed to?
Not supposed to.
Ah.
But I don't think Monty Python's going to sue me. Or us. But if they get like 100,000 views, I'm going to care.
Most this time I didn't get any musicians at all.
Yeah, it's because there wasn't anything. I put it all up on the EV website, but nobody checks that.
I did check the guitar, but I didn't see the author.
I would like to consolidate everything into one, but it hasn't yet happened. So, I'm doing an intro and then I'm doing the elections. Well, I'm doing, past.
Oh, I see.
I can see that we have a lot of people here today, so all of us, people really like getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning to come out for a lecture at 10. I'm grateful that we have what we do have here. I just wish I could bring the t-shirts. But maybe when I'm done cleaning my house, we'll find them. So, welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. And I just wanted to let everyone. So, who got to go to the Christmas party, holiday party? Okay, I see 2, 3, 4, 5 hands. Wow, what happened to everyone else? Was it the weather? Was it all the rain we were getting that everyone? Oh my gosh, rain! What do we do? So yeah, we didn't have nearly as many people as we thought at the holiday party. I think we estimated 70, 60, 70, and we ended up with maybe 30. Whereas last year we had estimating like, I think we had 110 and only 90 people showed up, but that was still a lot more people, but the weather was definitely more pleasant without all that rain. So I can understand why not everyone came today. It's rainy, and so hopefully people are watching from home if they decided to wake up. Anyway, so you probably saw on the website, if you looked, that Mike Leach was supposed to be here with Blink and Car Charging. He's now the CEO of both. But he was flying in from Florida last night and has luncheon with someone else today. And Skype wasn't really going to be a practical solution from his luncheon. Yeah. Right. So he was organized out of our meeting, but hopefully next month. But we do have some answers for those who have Blink chargers. Marina's been in contact with Mike, and she can give you answers about your Blink chargers if you're still having trouble with them. So.
For people that have Blink units at home, the contract with the pilot program finished every year, so you would have filed a service ticket prior to the end of the year with the CMSIT. No troubles, no need going forward. You have two options. One is to buy a service plan, and 2, buy a new home charger itself. A new home charger, the dealer considers up to dollars per dollar credit to the public station. So that's going to be going forward. And Mike's going to be there for the if you have any questions, you can come later.
So I'm sure I'll be able to answer those questions in the future when we talk Mike. I'm sure you guys have lots to throw at it, which will be interesting. But I'm sure you have lots of questions for our guest speaker as well. I want to make note of Earth Day. I don't have all the Earth Day events registered yet. I believe Earth Day is going to be a Saturday this year, which is good. But I'm probably not going to be here. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'll be attending all of them, but we're not going to be here after March. So I just wanted to put at least one day up. So to get this out of the way, what's up?
I'll be organizing the Richmond card probably for the next time.
Okay.
And I really love it. So that's the last one I'm going to do. And I'll be forwarding that information very shortly.
Okay. Well, that'll be what, early April or late March?
Yeah, it's that week.
Right. Yeah, it's usually Wednesday. Cool. Ron?
Previously, I had 3 or 3 of this annual here.
It's not going to be February? Oh, it's in February, right. Well, I mean, that would be the normal day. We usually moved it to the fourth Saturday, but yeah, we'll figure something out. Right. Okay, so as I mentioned in the October meeting, we didn't have a November meeting. I'm retiring. I know I've only been in this role for 2 years. That's not a very long time, but it would be really difficult, in my opinion, to retain the membership and not live in the Bay Area. So I'm not going to be far away, but I'm not going to be close enough to continue doing these meetings regularly because my car doesn't have the range to get up here from where I will be living. But I want to mention that Kent Okazaki is our current vice president and Maddie Hausman is our current treasurer. But at this point, I can no longer, I will stay on until I'm gone, but I just wanted to know if we have anyone who's interested in becoming president. And for this other page, what you get to do if you're president, it's primarily a figurehead position. You get to stand up here while people throw things at you. But you also get to go to every single event, which is really fun, and I know a lot of people do that. You also get to hobnob with all the wonderful, interesting people who are involved in electric vehicle things. I tell you, it's a weird experience. I've been president of other clubs before, but I've never been president of what I consider to be a pretty significant club. And people, I swear people recognize me on the street, and I didn't want that, but I can't help it. I've never done any interviews, but supposedly I've been recognized, and it's weird. It's the halfway between celebrity and just having money. A lot of money. So anyway, so we also have vice president, which is pretty much just an assistant to the president, does almost the same things the president does, and I think Kent's been a great help to this position. But is anyone else interested in becoming, in holding onto this role? Paul?
I just have a note. You forgot really important things, and that's you guys are organizing out.
That's true, but that's more of a club event. I deliberately didn't do that because it's not solely the responsibility of the president to organize the rally.
Overall, the meetings, so put together.
Well, we all do that. Well, I hope we all do that. Anybody who's been there for more than a year should do that. But I know that I'm actually technically two roles: I'm president and website manager, and it would be nice to segregate the website manager role off to someone distinctly from the president role. So, anyone interested? Ron? Oh, you're gonna? Oh, thank you for volunteering, Ron.
Would you be willing to continue doing that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that since I somewhat own it. So, that would be fine. Really? I'm sorry to hear that. Anyone else? We do a co-president with the vice president. This was one thing actually that George Bitek and I did when I first came on, because he volunteered first, and then I said I'd do it as well. So if 2 people or 3, you want to make a committee out of it, might be easier. So. All right, well, I'll put it on hold for now. How about vice president? Does anyone continue being vice president? Okay. Treasurer? Maddie? Okay. It's good to know. I guess it's possible for the president to not be or to be absentee in SFP. Did you see that for a while? No? Okay. All right, well, I know you guys all love this club and would love to help out, but we can hold off on this and see where it goes. Anyways, so we'll just continue on with our presenters for this. I know it's probably, is it down by 15 minutes? No, it's been 17 minutes. Amazing. I actually made it. What's up?
Before we start the presentation, I have a general question.
Sure.
Does anybody have any idea how I could lease a Tesla for about 2 months to drive around the United States?
Really right, yeah. Yeah, there's actually a fellow in Sunnyvale I know that rents this out all the time. It's pretty expensive though, but
Yeah, they vary tremendously in pricing from $100 to $300 a day that are weekly and monthly discounts.
yeah, you probably wouldn't be leasing it for the typical lease of $1,000 to $1,500. Probably be more like $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
It's actually a really interesting idea because we were planning a vacation to Florida, and one of the things I always look up when I vacation somewhere now is cars on tour. If I ever happen in an area where I get rented a vehicle for a week, I probably would do that because it's not that much more than renting a weekend or something.
Yeah, and actually, if you're interested, if you have a spare electric car, or you just have a nice car still, and I'm not trying to promote relay rides, what they've turned into now.
No, it's actually a really great thing to do with your old cars.
Exactly.
I make thousands of dollars a year renting my old gas cars out, particularly my minivan.
Yep. Yeah, he's actually been on it for a very long time. I've rented out my truck and I've rented out my electric car on relay rides as well. I wouldn't say I make a lot of money on it, but if you're close to a public transport place like I currently live near the train station, you get a lot of people interested. I had fellow rent my truck and take it to Tahoe. So.
How's the insurance work out you got?
$1 million policy from Berkshire Hathaway. So not really problematic.
It's not on your insurance at all.
Exactly.
They have to manage the start and stop times, and so the only thing that's a little bit weird is the insurance companies don't quite practice yet. So the fact that my car clocks 10,000 miles means that I'm paying for 10,000 miles worth of insurance, even though I was at risk for nothing.
Anyways, it's kind of off topic, but it's a neat project.
It's a
So
good topic for this club because a lot of people have gas cars sitting around.
exactly. As long as you don't let your battery go dead, you're probably okay. So I'd like to invite Tim up to the stage with his team. We're going to take a moment to connect laptops, but I'd like everybody to give a round of applause to OS Vehilcle.
Hello everyone, I'm Tim, the CEO of OS Vehilcle, and here with Yuki, CEO. We are coming from Italy. Actually, me and Yuki are born in Turin. Anyone know Turin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
I've been there too. I enjoy it. Beautiful city.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Nice.
And therefore from the south, from South Carolina, near Sicily Island. And our project is called OS Vehilcle, which means open source vehicle. And our aim is to democratize mobility. And a little bit about our past experience. Okay, I had 10 years working in the automotive industry. Because Turin is the, let's say, the motor city of Italy. Okay, it's like the Detroit of Italy. And I had the pleasure to work with Mr. Giugiaro. Do you know Giugiaro? Okay, someone that's okay, great. Actually, Giugiaro is the car designer of the century. He's supposed to be the #1 designer in the world about automotive. And he made some quite successful vehicles, like, do you know Lamborghini?
No.
Ferrari, Volkswagen Golf as well. The DeLorean, Back to the Future car, we made it. Okay. And also famous products like for industrial. They also do industrial design, like Nikon camera reflex. They made the first models. So he's a crazy guy, and it was a pleasure to work with him. 7 years working there, and also we made actually 13 years ago one of the first project of EV. We made an internal project called My Car, and it was quite famous in Europe and Asia. Have you ever heard about My Car? Okay. And it was an internal project that we developed It's a low-speed vehicle, electric vehicle. And we sold this project to a Hong Kongese company. And this Hong Kongese company then sold it to an American company called Vehilcle. And you can see the former president, Bill Clinton, riding this vehicle. Yeah, the Domino Pizza vehicle. Okay. So after working for a while in the automotive industry, I was really bored because there was no real innovation, actually. Actually, big companies are trying to keep innovation in a very slow mode, okay, because they don't want to expose too much, and they're very scared to innovate. And so I really love innovation, and I decided to quit my job and to come to Silicon Valley, and that was in 2008, to find new inspiration, because I really love what the Google guys were doing, or Facebook, or Twitter guys. And I said, okay, something big is happening there, so I should go there and take a look. And I got a very big inspiration from some guys that were talking about open source hardware. And I am a very passionate about open source software, and I was really amazed to see this logic applied to hardware. Okay. So actually, after we presented this project, open source vehicle, and actually is the merging of two worlds, okay? The traditional automotive transportation industry and innovation, IT, open source. Okay, these two industries are merging. So after we presented it, we had quite a great success. Okay, we just did the coverage. We've been invited in a lot of events and conferences. We have the pleasure to share the same stage of Sebastian Tran. Do you know Sebastian Tran? Do you know Google self-driving car? Google glasses? Google crazy balloons, internet. Yeah. Okay, he's the guy. He's the guy behind all of this great project. And he is like focusing on new technology. He says his focus is on moonshots, something like impossible innovation, like man that goes to the moon. So he's focusing on this kind of innovation. And he has a very powerful belief that only 1% of all things have been invented. Who believes this? In a way. Okay.
Technology keeps changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, we have this powerful belief, especially mobility. We think that mobility, especially, needs to be disrupted. Okay, who believes this?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, so Sebastian Franz said only 1% of all things have been invented, and we believe that mobility really needs much more than the 99% more of invention. Because as everybody knows and is reading on the newspapers these days, with the Dieselgate, Volkswagen and Renault, traditional mobility is broken. And
Have you heard about Renault recently? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Both Renault and Fiat Chrysler were also involved up to a certain extent in the Dieselgate and emission scandals. So basically, it's all of them. I mean, these are just the last things that surfaced, but it's been a while since all the big players have been involved in litigation, big scandals, because they are it's a very consolidated industry. We say that mobility is broken. It isn't hard to see. It's a very consolidated industry, and that's what keeps innovation slow. They only go incremental innovation year after year. They have a little something, but they don't go radical innovation, so totally changing. You have a question?
Yeah, is that part of the reason? Because first of all, the infrastructure, as far as streets and roads and transportation like buses and trains are not actually well designed for the areas. You know, where like if I want to take a bike or let's say a scooter, yeah, for a mile or two, I can take a bus easily or a train to wherever I want to go. You know, like in Europe, in Europe.
Well, infrastructure is always plays a role in mobility, of course. But in general, mobility has, as you say, a lot of different needs besides the mass market of the cars. So now, especially that we see the rise of car services, for example, the needs of the consumer and of the producer or whoever is owning the car service or the car is changing radically with the introduction of technology. So infrastructure will have to keep the pace, but the innovation has to come from the people that actually are operators in the market. Okay.
Yeah, because the three main problems of the traditional mobility has to be solved. As we see, the very big pain from the environmental point of view is car barriers. Traditional cars are designed to be after a few years without, and government has a lot of problems in solving this. We can see this kind of picture, for example, car barriers. There are the problem of many countries that normally they try to hide this, but actually that's true. After the usage, life cycle of a car is just not solved because you just pilot it and you want to buy a new one because the traditional system of making cars is like this, producing them for being used for 5 years, 7 years, and then change it.
Planned obsolescence. Yeah. And it's, I mean, the electric vehicle itself is a way of improving the environmental outcomes of mobility because it helps us when we use the car. But we have to think also where the car is produced, distributed, and
all the processes. Because using lithium batteries in the vehicle is not going to solve the environmental problem. Okay? Yeah. That's only the first stage. Okay? What we have to ask ourselves is what happened next. Okay? Have you ever seen the story of stuff? Yes. The story of stuff. Okay. It's a very interesting short documentary animation that talks about all the processes from extraction to manufacturing to recycling. And actually, automotive is very it's not really optimized. Okay.
Yeah, so this is why with Vehilcle we solve this problem through modularity in order to make the life cycle of vehicles much longer. Modularity enables the replaceability of components, upgradability, so you can just upgrade the components that are maybe now in the market better than before, than 1 or 2 years before, without throwing away what is still working. And also modularity is very important for a positive logistic impact. So also you ship vehicles that are in components that you can assemble locally. And so basically you are saving not the shipment of air throughout the world.
Yeah, we can give you 2 examples, okay, just to make it easier. First, modularity. Imagine if you own a car sharing fleet. Okay, you have a fleet of vehicles, let's say 1,000 vehicles. And is it expensive to buy 1,000 vehicles? Okay. What about changing it after 5 years? Is it a pain? Okay. With our technology, instead of replacing the entire vehicle fleet, you can replace key components, okay, like electric motor, lithium batteries, because it's all modular. And not only replaceability, but also upgradability. If there is, in 5 years, a better technology for electric motor or battery system, okay, we can upgrade this fleet. So it saves a lot of money, okay? And we also help more efficient business models. Second example, that's why Bloomberg, one of the #1 media of finance, define as the IKEA car because it's all modular. And instead of shipping in a container 4 vehicles, compact vehicles, we can put up to 16. Is it good? Okay.
And at the same time, also, besides replacing broken or outdated components, also you can recycle them. Because since it's unassembled and it's modular, just as it is to assemble it, you can disassemble and recycle efficiently instead of compacting everything together and just running it away. If I am the number guy, so I wanted to spend a second on the economic reason I think what's stopping car companies from moving forward is that they are huge, vertically integrated, what they themselves define capital junkies, because they spend hundreds of billions each year in R&D just to make something that is nowadays a commodity, the car platform. Because for the consumer, the value differentiating element is in the design, the brand, and the interior, the accessories, the technology, but what actually powers the car underneath it, it's less distinguishable for the average consumer. So what they're doing, their solution right now is that of consolidating, so buying each other off to share resources and R&D and platform across brands. This is, for example, true for Volkswagen, who's very big in platforms. They share, for example, if you buy a Volkswagen or a Skoda, they have the same platform underneath it. Same thing with Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X. More recently, we've seen Faraday Future, and I've heard about it. Also, they have amassed this variable platform architecture. Because really, inventing the wheel again for each new model is not economically viable. And that's what they've been doing so far. And that's why their returns are lower than what is actually costing them to make. Even with increasing sales and with increasing volumes, they're not still giving back the money, or they're priced lower than what they would actually be if each car shared the same cost.
Yeah, and this is what Vehilcle is doing in an horizontal way for everybody, because the new startups or new entries that want to make a better solution for the EV industry, is not really possible to get access to these platforms from traditional car manufacturer. They are not going to sell it to you. And this is why Vehilcle is focusing on this in order to enable new projects and to everybody, so horizontally.
Yeah, for example, there are a lot of IT companies, especially here in Silicon Valley. There are IT companies that now want to IT companies that wants to enter into the EV business, okay? Like, Google is investing a lot, Apple as well, and actually, these are very giant IT companies. But what we saw here, that there are a lot of startups, okay? This is the place to be for startups. And if you are a startup and you want to create your own brand, your own EV company, it's very hard to convince Mr. Elon Musk to sell you his platforms, and also it's quite impossible to get it from Volkswagen Group or FCA Group. So this is why we made a platform available to everyone. If you want to start your own EV brand, you have something to ready to use to start. Okay, and basically this the product that we are offering helps you to save, let's say, 2 to 3 years of R&D, because the platform is the hardest part of the vehicle. Okay, and also, let's say, $2 million of R&D cost at least. Okay.
And the third big big problem of traditional mobility is from the social point of view. We saw that Detroit was destroyed by the General Motors decision of moving and shutting down that manufacturing facilities. And we don't want to see this anymore. We don't want to see community destroyed with no job and all the families that have to pay for this decision just to lower manufacturing costs and labor costs with facility moved to a more convenient place. And we saw this also in Torino, and it's very sad to see people that were very skilled engineer or also in production line that now has some choices like being an Uber driver or finding somewhere to make money for their family.
I'll give you another example. We have one very talented engineer in Italy that we want to hire. And so I went to meet him. And actually, because there is no job in Italy, especially related to automotive right now, he turned out to work on a very small garage, fixing local cars.
Make a living.
So he wrote a history of the automotive in Italy, and now he's fixing cars for his neighbors. So that's really bad.
So the traditional way of making cars is like building big facilities in place, big General Motors sites or big gigafactories, and when there is an ecosystem that is built, that will grow up around this. But when for the labor cost, optimizing labor cost and manufacturing costs, the manufacturer decides to move to another place that is more convenient, the ecosystem built around that, the facility will be destroyed. So we don't want this anymore, and this is why through Vehilcle we are enabling and promoting distributed manufacturing. So no people has to really move to another country or to another city in order to have jobs. We are enabling smaller facilities, simpler, in order to be able to create vehicles in a simpler way.
So we have a lot of experience, okay, if you see our roots, because our team has over 60 years of experience combined in traditional vehicles, electric vehicles, even train, underground, racing, yeah, and also a lot of passion. In Italy, we are very passionate about motors. We love racing and everything. Even in the big cities, if we try to drive very fast, and quite in an illegal way. And yeah,
mopeds,
yeah,
14, 13 years old.
Yeah, we like to tweak our cars to have more performances. Like, a lot of young people are into tuning. So. Okay, and also we added other very important value in our roots, which are open source hardware and distributed value chain. Okay? We think that these ingredients, these four main ingredients, will help to allow growth of a new mobility, a better mobility, more sustainable. And this is our vision. It's a small video. Hope you like it.
Mobility. Faster.
I try to put it.
What's next for mobility? Faster, bigger, luxury. You know, some of the traditional players think all of that. But we'd like to think,
oops, sorry.
What's next for mobility? Faster, bigger, luxury. You know, some of the traditional players think all of that. But we'd like to think that open source will bring not just vehicles, but the whole transportation industry to the next level. And we got beyond thinking. We made it. We designed and built an open platform made of a cutting-edge chassis, engine, and electronics that you can download for free to build your customized vehicle. Yes, it can be shipped in crates, with lower environmental impact. And yes, it can be assembled locally in less than an hour, creating local jobs. But OS Vehicle is much more than do-it-yourself. You can be any vehicle because it's modular. You can be road legal, run on streets, have bigger wheels for rough roads, or high-tech equipment to drive on Mars. Being modular, if something is outdated, you just upgrade it without throwing away what works. Our aim is enabling makers and companies to produce vehicles with very high potential and no entry barriers, shaping a sustainable future for your project, no matter where you're based, no matter if you're small or big, no matter how many wheels or seats you need. That's why our idea of mobility is fair, modular, green, high-tech, connected, personalized, sustainable, and fun. What's yours? Start building it. Get your starter kit today.
Did you enjoy the video?
Thank you. Thank you.
In June, me and Alberto were in Italy, in Genova, and we had the great pleasure to talk with Jeremy Rifkin. Do you know Jeremy Rifkin? Okay. And he is very promoting and also explaining what is happening right now. And the third industrial revolution that is happening right now is also focusing on the automotive, on the mobility. And it was really a great pleasure to see what our how our project is really meeting the requirements for this future that should be spread through distributed manufacturing and enabling also new technologies and collaborative processes and the 3D printing that can be applied on mobility. And it's also very interesting that through common technologies and collaborative processes, new players can really add value to this sector. And we wanted so to change the traditional way of making vehicles that is totally centralized. You can see it at the bottom, at the top of the image, and that's really important now to distribute and empower more players and also be connected in a collaborative way.
Just to give you an example, the top one, the centralized model is like Nissan or Volkswagen.
And Toyota.
Yeah, they try to do everything. I didn't know, Alberto told me also they have banks also. They're trying to do everything. So, and actually, this is not very optimized. So actually, there are these distributed models are more effective. Like they're taking inspiration from other industry, like internet and web.
Yeah, distributed model for us means involving different players. So instead of doing everything from the little screw to the post-sale financing and the aftermarket car service and everything, we want to empower different players along the value chain. So we're not going to build our own manufacturing facilities, but we're going to rely on a partner's existing facilities so that both us and our clients can keep investments down. And we can also save on raw materials and everything, because instead of buying or making a new facility, we just invest in molds and tools for production, and we exploit what's already there, which is much more sustainable.
Yeah, and this is a way to distribute the value chain.
Just to give you another example from our city, Turin, Fiat Group. In the beginning, they were more like trying to create an ecosystem. So there were smaller companies manufacturing some part of the vehicle. And then after, let's say, 30 to 40 years, they started to say, okay, we don't need you anymore. So I start to pay you in a let's say, not paying you or wait for 100 20 days, then 180 days, then 360 days. So these small companies started to have some financial problems, and they went bankrupt. And Sophia started to acquire for cheap some of these companies and trying to do everything internally, and even design, so services, even design, engineering. So this is a very bad way, okay, of let's say capitalism as well, because it involves also this. And actually, what we saw that it's really optimized in the web, that someone focuses on a specific part very well. And right now we have internet, we have connection to the world. Okay, we can transfer very big chunks of information easily. And nowadays, also in the industry, we can easily be more connected, optimized. So that's the vision of also Jeremy Rifkin in an optimized industry, and also in communication and collaboration.
So we, this OSB provides this common platform is here. So from one common platform, we can develop different many vehicles. And this is exactly what Elon Musk said, that to make a real revolution in the mobility, there is a need of much more new players. And Tesla alone is not enough. And thankfully now we can see much more new players starting to do that. But for Vehilcle, with a common platform open and for everybody, this will be speed up. And we can see here a project from France that won the Red Dot Design Award in 2015, so last year, from Paris.
Do you know Red Dot Awards? Okay.
It's one of the most famous design
iPad won the Red Dot Design Award, for example. And this also Coastal Vehilcle, designed and engineered in Italy, is also a solution from the same platform. And even other segments like racing cars, so fast cars, can use this platform.
So the fact that it's modular allows you to configure it differently. If you can create different models based on the same platform and changing some modules, you can set, for example, configure it to be a 2 seats or a 4 seats. You can change the battery technology to have longer range, or you increase the motor to have it faster, or you can have high-tech or low-tech, low-end or high-end vehicles, all based on the same platform.
This is an example of a complete vehicle.
A beautiful example, actually.
Designed and engineered in Italy. And this is a closed version of a vehicle that can be built on top of this platform. And a Chinese car manufacturer is going to produce it and put it in the Chinese market to start with very soon.
This company that made this design is very famous. Actually, it's the #1 car model company in Europe, and they work directly with Lexus and Lamborghini and other big brands. So they saw our platform and they started to think about a compact vehicle in this case, and very similar to the Smart for the size. Yeah. Yes.
What about as far as like importing? Like I know I've been doing some research on the Renault Twizy,
Yeah.
which is well, I see a very nice, good car, handles great, everything. You can't get it here.
Yeah. Actually, we know Renault and Nissan guys, and yeah, actually. The design, not everyone liked it, okay, because of the weird seat position.
Yeah.
Especially for the one in the back, quite uncomfortable. And actually, they try to import some of this for a special use. What's the name again? Scoot.
Oh, yeah.
Scoot in San Francisco. They have now 10 vehicles, 10 Renault Twizy.
But it's not the same as the European version because they have to downgrade.
Yeah, it's because in Europe we have different categories of electric vehicles. We have let's say, low-speed vehicle like the NEV in the US. And then we have L7E, which is a middle-speed category. And actually, the one that they bring here is a middle-speed one, and they find a way to make it to do some paperwork to introduce them in San Francisco. And it's still hard to bring this kind of vehicles.
So we talked to the founders too, and with the people that we sent them out, it said it took them 2 years of contracting before having the cars here. And the market for low-speed electric vehicles in the US and all over the world is very big and it's growing. Nissan Renault is easy is one of the first and most best-selling ones, but the consumer still. That may be good for services, like car sharing and stuff, but for ownership, I don't know if many people will buy those.
And there is another choice.
What you do about, Tesla, one of the early things, the problems they ran into, and lots of a lot of money, was getting, the federal government has specifications on testing and stuff like this, where as soon as you change a part, as soon as you part in the vehicle, another $10 or $20 million is required to go through the certification. And then we want to every change another $15 to $20 million.
Not that much, but quite a lot.
Yeah, it gets to the point where you say, you can't afford to change the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you have to retest, and then you've got all the federal requirements that essentially say, if you're a real many billion-dollar company, and you make a very limited line of vehicles, okay, the laws are set up for that. They're not set up for something where you can make significant changes in the vehicle in a reasonable time. I think we were mentioning 2 years or something like this to get through the paperwork in the United States to bring in those vehicles or something like that. How do you address that problem?
Oh, we will explain a little bit later about it. And actually, about the cost, usually it's not 10 to 15 million. It's something a little bit more of $1 million to go the M1, because M1 is the traditional passenger cars like Nissan Leaf, even Tesla, and very expensive, especially for the crash test. And actually, it's around 1 to 2 million to make this test, and which is a lot of
1 year information for
Yeah,
the testing, so
it takes
paperwork, as you say.
it takes 1 year. And, so especially for a startup, spending a big amount of money is a big entry barrier. Okay, so having a ready-to-use platform that is already compliant to the U.S. regulation and also European, which are the two toughest. Basically, if you are compliant to U.S. and Europe, you are compliant everywhere in the world. So this is our standard. Okay. And then we will explain a little bit more. Okay.
Quick question. Is this called a NICA?
Nika, yeah.
This is a very tricky question.
Yeah.
The other side here is a green dot. You can get that, please.
Oh, it's just an aesthetic thing. An aesthetics. Aesthetic feature. Yeah, it is. Actually, someone thought it is a camera, and actually someone is trying to make a rear view mirror with a camera. So,
We have the detail here? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a connected flash. So modularity was make the solution easier. So this is some of the internal and external body users. There is a tablet to show the
the idea of this concept of a connected car is making something like Tesla, but more affordable and optimized. In fact, I saw a lot of, I traveled the world, especially after presenting this project, so 2 years ago, basically, playing. And I saw a lot of taxi driver or Uber driver. They have beautiful cars or traditional cars and with a great entertainment system, navigation, everything. They say great, but even if they have an Audi or whatever, they just put their iPhone in top of it. Are you familiar with this? Have you ever seen something like this? Yeah. So actually, yeah, Tesla is it's very good. I like the entertainment system, but especially big brands like Audi, those families still lack in technology. So this idea was to put a tablet in embedded or detachable. And that's the platform under the hood.
This is the sixth version of the mechanical parts, and as you can see, it's compliant to the United States and Europe regulation. It's fast. It goes up to 130 kilometers per hour, and
in miles it should be around 8. So 70, 80, 70, 70. Okay, 70.
And it's all modular.
Yeah, I wanted to spend a few moments to say again the benefits of modularity, because I think this is the core innovation. In fact, we design what we design internally is the chassis that is modular, and modularity allows us to, first of all, use a lot of standardized components, not bound ourselves to one supplier, so we can better serve the needs of our clients. As I was telling you, you can choose different configurations of battery, motor, technology that you want to embed on top of it. Second of all, it can be shipped unassembled, 15, 16 units in a container, so better logistics. Can create the local jobs, because here they just need, or wherever the client is, they just need a micro factory for the assembly with no big tools or soldering. Has a longer life cycle, so lower total cost of ownership, because you can fix it rather than throwing it away, which is impossible in a traditional vehicle. And finally, you can recycle it efficiently. Just as it is to assemble, you can disassemble it.
When the batteries in the press can be vulnerable and scratched, it would seem like that would be the first thing that would slow down the street and have this spark.
Obviously, this is just a platform. On top of this, there's going to be all the front of the car, the bumpers, and the lighting. In fact, the platform, we say it's compliant, but then it still needs the R&D to complete the vehicle, and then it can go on testing for homologation.
This is the 4.6 version that we are shipping right now, and we presented this through Financial Times. It's been really, really appreciated. And I want to show you the video of the assembly in order to make you understand how easy it is. There is a timer. Only 2 people in a very simple, let's say, one-room factory. This video is made in Modena, the city of Ferrari. No soldering. Only simple tool.
Welding.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no soldering. Less than 1 hour. People
Do you like it?
What's that platform cost?
Our target price is around 5,000 US dollars.
No, it's still in batteries because it's a B2B, yeah, obviously, the batteries are very expensive. Actually, the batteries are excluded because it's a B2B project, and every project has an objective for the range, so they can choose different type of battery types. Yeah. So, a question?
I was going to ask about that battery pack. Is there a standard configuration battery has to fit into?
Yeah, as you see in the video, we provide a standard one, but actually most of the project has some specific requests. So everyone has their own specific application for range and type of vehicle. So that's the platform, and you can download this project for free. Have you ever heard about a project that you can download for free in automotive? So that's quite crazy. And actually, the value of this project, as we said, is around 2 million, 2 to 3 million.
3D printing is going to come next.
3D printing already came, actually. Yeah. We just met our friends of Local Motors. They are working on the study. And
You know Local Motors?
do you know Local Motors? Have you ever heard?
Yeah.
Local Motors. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we are friends.
They're based in Arizona.
Yeah, sometimes they say, oh, you're competitor Local Motors. Actually, we are very good friends because they are more focused on the 3D printing right now of the exterior body. And right now they are using different type of platforms. They are using the platform from Renault and from BMW, not in a, let's say, not in an official way. They're buying a vehicle, cutting the exterior body and 3D print on top of it. So very expensive. That's why we are we have a very good fit with them because we make platform and they make the exterior body.
If I may,
Yeah, sure.
anybody break in and stealing music, is it imagine somebody can want to do something?
What's the question, sir? Yeah, what's the question? Sorry, I didn't understand.
The question is, if anybody broke in your garage when you started making it, did anybody want to have one or steal one?
Steal in which way?
If you can make it in an hour,
Ah.
anybody can disappear. It isn't this a little dangerous?
Ah, okay, I understand.
Whatever,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Actually, the platform is modular, and you can do the assembly. But then you will have the exterior body that should protect from stealing. Yeah. Yeah, you still have a.
Well, send it to a shop, it would be a perfect vehicle for a chop shop to disassemble and make the everything disappear.
But this happened anyway with Porsche and Lamborghini. We have this problem a lot in Italy. We have a lot of people that rent a Lamborghini and then go to North Africa to this. Yeah, something like this happens a lot. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is easier for small manufacturers, even big manufacturers, to make custom vehicles on top of it. But they once you define the vehicle, it's the same of traditional vehicle. So you have the same problems in standard. Yeah, I know. For a consumer side, it's a little bit confusing, but for business, it's very clear. Yeah.
Does it come with a VIN number?
Yeah, the final, because we are a B2B company. So actually, the company that makes vehicles, complete vehicles with their own brand, has to have all the details, numbers, specification, everything. So yes.
Is the electric motor, are they AC or DC?
AC is a 19 kilowatt AC.
Are they all parts being made in Italy now?
Actually, except from the batteries, they are from China, very stable company and very stable technology that we used also in the past projects. All the other components are from Europe, mainly from Microsoft.
And the chassis is handmade in Italy.
Yeah.
A question about your fundamental design concept. The Tesla and a number of other companies now settled in on the skateboard with the batteries underneath, super low center of gravity, and then you build up everything on top of it. You've got your pictures show distributed battery locations. Could you discuss the pros and cons of those two concepts?
Yeah. What I can say, this is the second evolution of our platform, and in this phase we decided to use stable technology for batteries. Actually, lithium-ion on the vehicles is still not, let's say, not very stable. Okay, because we had some problem with Tesla, and also recently, right, in Finland, I guess, or Norway, one catch on fire. Seattle, yeah. So actually, these kind of batteries are not lithium-ion, but lithium FePO, which gave us less problem. So that's why for starting we decided to use this. And the shape of the batteries are way bigger. Okay, way bigger. So it's very hard to embed it in the platform. Okay. But we are also working with suppliers for lithium-ion. And actually, on the new generation of the platform that we are working on, will be embedded in the Tesla, in the chassis, which is better for the weight distribution, way better. So, yeah.
And as of right now, also the delivery environments are very expensive. So, if a client is committed to making something or a competitor to Bolt or Tesla, then we have the suppliers that are actually producing the same kind of battery cells that are stackable versus battery packs that are bigger.
Yeah, we also talk with the biggest lithium-ion manufacturer from Korea, Japan. I know we can mention the name, but they are the most famous. And so actually, we are testing this as well.
Like, let's say for someone like me who likes to sit low in the car, is there an option where you can put the batteries right down the middle of the car?
Yeah.
Because sitting up high like that, for some people, like myself, I don't like to sit up high too much. That's something an SUV, and even then, I don't care for it.
Yeah. Again, because it's modular, it's very easy. If you want to create a vehicle with a different battery position, it's possible.
But still, that's to be decided because the battery is the whole superheavy component, so it has an impact on the physics and the aerodynamics.
Let's say like where this chip count would be.
It would take some other amount of R&D to do the testing, both on a software level and a physical level, but it's doable because we switch the module to something that we module.
And we decided to release all the 3D source files for free in open source because now company can are able to work already on top of it because to make a vehicle it takes time also in development.
So basically, you can go on our website now and click on download file and get all the 3D files and start to work on top of it with 3D CAD software.
Both the 2 and 4.6 versions.
What kind of CAD software is?
Oh, we are also linking to free CAD software for free CAD. Very easy. And but usually in automotive, at least in Europe, we have 2 standards for the 3D. One is CATIA from Dassault System, France, and also ProE, and these are the 2 main. Now probably they just changed the name to Creo. Creo.
The version 5.
Oh, yeah,
The original.
yeah. It's usually, especially in Europe, it still use a lot of V5 because V6 actually quite expensive and not really innovation. They try to push the collaborative ecosystem way, but it's not really working.
So besides giving the possibility of clients to start working for free on a platform that is not accessible in any other way unless they develop it themselves. Also, we have the possibility of having the feedback from both the consumers, the entrepreneurs, the engineers, and the designer out there. We have now a community, growing community of 15,000 people that helped us. In fact, as we were saying, this is Vehilcle, which is the second version of a platform which we developed thanks to the feedback of our community and our clients. And this is great because we can keep improving continuously without relying only on our internal workforce, but also on all the other people. That's the benefit of open source, number one.
Yeah, it's a big benefit, especially working in automotive industry. We see like big changes happens in a time frame of let's say around 5 years, okay, especially on the platform side. Actually, we made already a second version after 1.5 years, so we speed up the process a lot.
And it's a completely re-engineered version.
Yeah, completely
Faster, stronger, tougher.
Yeah.
Stable. So, and yeah, as we mentioned before, we are very concerned about the safety. For us, is first, and this is why in our team there is engineers and expertise for more than 60 years combined, especially in legal regulation, and we are compliant to Europe and United States, and so China, of course, and all the other countries.
China's compared to the US and Europe. So easy. It's very easy to see American or European cars in China, but not the opposite, right?
And this expertise we also provide it as a service to our clients if they are not expert in this and they don't know. Or maybe they have problem meeting the requirements. We can help them.
But, well, right now, as we were saying, we're producing these smaller batches in Italy, in Modena, with European components and handmade chassis. But we already have a long-standing relationship with Chinese suppliers who are ready to work with us, even though our forecasts for the Chinese standards are pretty low, because they see the potential of us becoming the standard platform. We are collaborating with producers of electric motors, lithium batteries, all the electronics, the chargers, the charging networks, all the components, basically.
Some suppliers also that we work with Tesla. They're working with the number one.
And we are ready to bring serial production to China when the projects that we're following right now are ready to go to manufacturing. Because the plan is manufacturing in China with quality control from our engineering team, then shipping it all over the world, continuing the R&D locally.
So, does your business model become a licensing revenue stream if you localize production, localize in some way, localize all of these things as they ramp up, but they in a market more profitability based on
it's a commission-based model, basically. We want to be intangible. We don't want to make our own factory. We don't want to give anyone any restriction on how they should make the car. We make money, basically, and we will get there in a few slides. But initially, throughout the development of the vehicle, as a service, because we do design and engineering service, certification services, crash testing services, with dedicated team to our clients. And then when it's ready to manufacture, we make money on a commission base.
Yeah, we will talk more about the business model on the next slides, but actually licensing is an option. Yeah. we are very flexible.
And since the first day we released this project publicly, it was in October 2013, we got a very huge media traction, and this is very important also to educate also in this new approach of making cars. And we've been covered by big media players like Financial Times, Nikkei, Bloomberg, and also Top Gear. Do you know Top Gear? Yeah. And the Wired. So from innovation to financial to also sustainability, like 300 and in Habitat. And this is really important for us also to have the media support. And thankfully, these are the numbers that we made right now. Until now, more than 2.5 million of video loads, more than 25,000 downloads of the 3D source files, and a community that is growing of more than 15,000 members, makers, engineers, designers, entrepreneurs, and from all over the world, actually. Yeah. We received more than 80,000 requests, so more than 80,000 requests for new projects on top of our platform, and more than 100 letters of intent signed. So company, we are a B2B company, from more than 80 countries. Among these huge amount of projects, we selected 300 viable projects because they have enough funds or support from their local governments, and also market analysis that is working. And right now, because we are in a startup phase still, we are serving 10 customers selected. And you can see here, we selected this customer because they are leader in their industry, or because they are validating also what we want to prove. So new entries in the automotive world, like IT companies from Italy, and leader in segment, particular segment, special vehicles, for example, aid, rescue, and peacekeeping. And also project for car sharing funded by governments. So also governments, local governments can be new players in the EV industry. Yes?
How easy, let's say if I want to go to the platforms, how easy would that could be, or how hard would it be to go to the DMV? It's like an assembly of car and registry. What kind of obstacles would that be?
Okay.
We will show all the phases later,
Yes.
from the idea to the manufacturing of the stages.
Yeah.
Basically, just if you want to make just one model, it wouldn't be very economical for you to develop a couple of platforms. If you want to make, say, more than 100 already, it is easier.
Yeah, and also another selected customer is an existing car manufacturer in a low-speed electric vehicles, and we are providing them also our platform.
Okay, so the example we showed you, Nika, there is a Chinese manufacturer that is interested to manufacture this in China. And actually, the Chinese market is kind of crazy. Are you familiar with the Chinese EV market? Not much, right? Because also here in the US, we don't have much news about it, and also in Europe. And we've been there for some time, and we discovered that it's getting huge. Okay. For example, there is a Chinese manufacturer that made in 2014 they sold over 100,000 EV, which is a lot. Compared to Tesla, it's 3 times. Tesla was worldwide selling. These guys they just sold it in China. The price point is very different, obviously, but the number is quite impressive. And in China, for low speed, you don't need a license to manufacture, so it's a kind of wild market. And actually the market size of a low-speed vehicle, like NEV, it's this year we sold 1 million vehicles. Huge amount. Yeah. And these guys are the number one. They really made a great job in quality and also in selling. And the Chinese government now gave them the license to manufacture higher speed vehicles. Actually, getting a license from the government is something really hard to achieve. In Europe and US, it's easier. In Europe, we can have the license in 3 to 6 months. So you become a car manufacturer with your number, and you're allowed to produce your vehicle. In China, it's impossible. Most of them, yeah, it's all regulated. And imagine also big car manufacturers like BMW or Volkswagen, they cannot manufacture themselves. They have to do a joint venture with a local car manufacturer in order to bring their vehicles there. And actually, these guys did a very great job, and they just got the license to manufacture a new category pushed by the government for middle speed vehicles. It's called double 100, and it means 100 kilometers of range at least, and 100 kilometers of speed at least. Okay. And it's very similar to the L7E of Europe, the middle speed vehicle that I mentioned before. But it's a little bit better because they also introduced a crash test in this category. So, and lithium batteries are mandatory because before on the previous low-speed vehicles they use a lot of lead-acid batteries. Terrible. Yeah. So now the government is really committing to make a better mobility. And also, have you ever been to Beijing? Shanghai, Shenzhen. Okay. These are three biggest cities in China. And actually, there is something really big that something big is really happening there. If you want to buy a Mercedes, traditional combustion old school car, you have to wait at least, let's say, at least 1 year. Standard is if you're lucky. You're very lucky, you have to wait 1 year before you can have this car and drive it.
Have the plate.
Have the license plate. Otherwise, the standard is around 2 years.
And you have to pay a lot of money.
Because they sold a huge amount of cars combustion in these cities. And the government now, they sold the pollution data so crazy. It's related to death rate. So they are trying to limit cars. There are too much cars, combustion cars, and they have to limit this. Otherwise, we cannot do anything with these cities. And this is not happening for electric vehicles. So if you buy a Tesla, that's why also Tesla is selling well in China. Electric vehicles, when you buy it, you can use it immediately. So that's a big shift. And also China is pushing a lot, is investing a lot in the infrastructure. They're investing in all the parking, big parking that put in EV chargers, fast EV chargers. We made the supplier of Tesla for China, the future supplier of Tesla for China, the main supercharging network. And they are really, really good. So that's great. So that's why China has a very strong policy right now. They are committing heavily to push the EV. And we hope also in the US is going to happen something. That's not only for especially because the cities are very polluted. The pollution level of the particle level is 20 times the limit normal medium US city allows. But also because they want to have a strong auto sector, which right now traditional vehicles quality of Chinese manufacturers is really low. So they want
want to leap forward and move directly to electric. And that's why they're investing heavily in electric.
This is another, I think this is the craziest project that I'm working on based on our platform. It's a very simple vehicle, and this customer is a leader in special vehicles worldwide. They work directly with United Nations, U.S. Army, Defense, Ministry of Defense, Doctors Without Borders. They make special vehicle for special mission, especially for aid and peacekeeping, and also defense. Actually, they really wanted so badly a vehicle that you can drop from an airplane, helicopter, and especially in special missions where maybe the bridge is not there anymore. Yeah, something like this. So they have to drop medicines, they have to drop doctors, and also drop vehicles. And in a container, we can put, again, up to 16 vehicles instead of 4. So it's a very optimized way. Yeah.
Is that gasoline can on the side of that thing?
No, it's not gasoline. Yeah. I was surprised that they did electric vehicles. And I said, yeah, for us, it's easier to get electricity in some special cases. So actually, they are focusing on electric vehicles. And because it's all modular, it's very easy to have a lot of vehicles compact in a container. They just drop it, and they can do the assembly very quickly in about 1 hour. Okay, so they can have this vehicle in an island very fast, and they can assemble it fast and disassemble it fast. Yeah. Especially when the special mission is finished, the cost of bringing back these vehicles is huge. It's that huge that most of the time, and this is a very bad thing, they just leave it there.
Or destroy it.
Or destroy it.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's totally unsustainable.
Logistics cost.
The Philippines, the Jeep was, at least 20 years ago, the Jeep was the most common vehicle you'd ever see. All of them brought over from the United States for the war.
Yeah.
And they never left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through modularity, now also, let's say, special vehicles for this kind of operation, rescue or refugee situation, can be then, after the end of this operation, be reconverted in something that is more for civil usage. So much easier.
Yeah. Because it's not modular again, you can remove some parts, you can even put a better aesthetic and then convert it easily.
Yeah.
Or bringing back. Logistics cost and this kind of usage is the highest. So that's why they're not interested in having a fully fledged vehicle, they're just having something functional. And even though simpler has a higher price point because of the value brings to that.
And this is another project that we are working on, and we selected this customer because it's very important to validate also this new entry possibility that we are giving to our platform. So this is an IT company from Italy, and they are going to be listed this year on the stock market. And they're working well. They have nice clients, big clients like Samsung, Fox, and Universal, for example. They are focused on entertainment, and they want badly to enter the EV industry. And actually, they don't know nothing about making a vehicle, and this is why they are relying totally on us, not only for the mechanical parts of the vehicle, but also for all the solutions for exterior body and interior. And this is the kind that we are serving, making a new connected car with their technology in the center. So they put their technology, their expertise, and we are creating the vehicle around it. And as we are speeding the time for this kind of project, I mean, through the ready-to-use platform, and then also our expertise in all the other phases of making a vehicle, we are already going to present this new connected car in June. So this project in 6 months, we are going to present this project with a running vehicle prototype, and
it's very fast.
it will be very interesting.
The reason
we have one of the problems that's come up in doing a lot of complaints, for example, like with Tesla, where they upgrade the software, they have the touch screens, and it's contributed to a lot of accidents already because people they have to look down and stuff, especially new drivers.
Yeah.
You know, I see it all the time where people are looking, or even have like their iPad right there, which is illegal to have that one in the middle of it.
Yeah.
What sort of stuff's happening as far as that, where the person doesn't have to take their eyes off, or like the school
Heads-up display.
Yeah.
We will show you
Some
a
of
better
the
solution later
yeah.
with the partner. Actually, yes, this is a problem that we always tell to our customers to be also aware of this. Like having a touchscreen tablet and you are distracted from this, it's quite dangerous. Yeah. But actually, you know, customers they want to do what they want, so they are free to use the same technology of Tesla or the same way of Tesla. But there are some, thankfully, there are also we involve startups that wants to provide new technologies like the heads-up display that we are going to show you.
The reason for internet companies to go and build their own vehicle is because it is estimated that the world spends 1 billion hours per day online and 1 billion hours per day in the car. So imagine they could double their output of advertisement in front of our eyes. So this is a very, very, very profitable segment.
Yeah, very quickly, because I think we just have 15 minutes something. Also, there are 4 projects funded by the government, the region of France. Do you know Bordeaux? Bordeaux wine? Very good wine. Okay. These guys are working on 4 projects based on our platform for car sharing, tourism, even agriculture. It's a self-driving vehicle for agriculture, for soil analysis.
In the vineyards.
Yeah. It's like a Roomba, you know, the vacuum cleaner, autonomous Roomba, like a Roomba for agriculture. Yeah, for soil analysis. Basic technology. Also, we are working with remarkable universities around the world. This is the one from France, and they are also involving IT companies like Orange. Do you know Orange? It's the number one, one of the biggest telco in Europe. Also, there is a startup from near here in California, working working on a new company called Get, and I think in 1 month, they will have running the platform, and so maybe we can show it to you if there is an opportunity. And the first stage is to work on a low-speed vehicle, named NEV, and then the objective is to have a compact Tesla, so M1 highway ready vehicle. And also talking with some projects like NEV car sharing for San Francisco, and these are some examples of customers that we are serving. Obviously, it's not only making complete vehicles, we also have interesting connection with other companies, especially from startups that are working on the new technology on the vehicle, like the heads-up display that you mentioned. The problem is that for new solutions like sensors, monitors, or GPS application, whatever, the problem is this. Okay, on the right here we have the big company. Actually, it's like a dinosaur. I was in Tokyo, and also we were in London talking with Nissan guy, with the CEO of Aston Martin.
In Detroit, I was
In Detroit as well,
last
I
week.
was there, talking with the big automotive guys. And they admitted themselves that they are super big, super powerful, but also super slow. So, and actually this nowadays doesn't match really the speed of innovation. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. So actually we have to be smaller, leaner, and faster to create real innovation. So this is something that a lot of startups are trying to do, and they try to present their technology to big car manufacturers, and usually they said, okay, we are interested to put your technology, your cutting-edge technology, and the problem is that we can put it on the market in 5 to 6 years, and then the startup guys say, oh my God, in 5 to 6 years, my technology is already obsolete. So we have this gap. And with our technology, it's easier because it's modular to embed faster this. So we have technology that read and write canvas for vehicles, like also motorbikes and also cars from Italy. They work with one of the biggest group of 2 wheels, 3 wheels, and 4 wheels company. It's called Piaggio. They are famous for Vespa, for example. Vespa is quite popular here, right? So. Also, we have in-vehicle infotainment in open source developed in Berlin, Germany. Very interesting solution. Also, we have another interesting one from Estonia. They have a very, very precise technology that interact with your wearable, like Apple Watch or smartphone, and can detect where you are seated. And if you are seated in the front, if you're driving, the system removes all the distraction. So say, if you're seated on the back, you can access to all the infotainment. Look at a movie, you have to take a long trip. And if you switch the seats, also the movie switch. So something like this. Also, we have another technology from, actually it's a company that started in Hong Kong and now it's an American company. This is really interesting. It's more technical, let's say. It's a technology to measure the alignment and vibration. So they detect some patterns. If you are outside of this pattern, probably you have an upcoming problem. Okay. Just to give you an example, our dad was driving in Italy with a Citroen Picasso C4 and with a Chinese delegation. Our dad was on a highway at, let's say, 80 miles per hour, and then the front left wheel left. Yeah, terrible. And yeah, you can imagine. So my dad thankfully is a quite good driver, so started to slow down, and he had an accident, but he managed it to brake in time and have a small accident. So this is something that this technology can detect. So,
maybe weeks before.
yeah. And if you feel it, probably we cannot feel this change of pattern, but this technology can. So.
It's an activity tracker,
Yeah.
like your fitness, but for the doctor.
Yeah. Also, that's a technology, heads-up display. Actually, there are some companies working on heads-up display. We got it from Europe and USA and China as well. This is a Chinese one. It's very safer to have a transparent screen that you can see through it. So you don't have to look at Google Maps and then something happens and you're not watching. Right? This is, yeah, very interesting, but on the heads-up display, it's very interesting. And not a lot of car companies are testing this, but they are like saying, okay, let's implement this in 5 years. Also, we have from Beijing, for example, new companies in mobility that their business model is to rent vehicles. So it's a car sharing, let's say, an evolution of the car sharing, but their business model is not based on the rent of the car, but on the content. So basically, it's a context-aware system. If you're driving this vehicle, it can suggest you to, because it's lunchtime, oh, you should go to this restaurant, or so they're making money on this. Or with the city that it suggests you, oh, you can take a route to the Great Wall or the Forbidden City in Beijing. So they are more based on this. So something more innovative. Roberto, maybe you can explain about that.
Well, we checked a lot, and it's growing very much, especially in countries like China and US. The EV market is already 150 billion, and it's expected to double in the next 5 years. So it will definitely eat market share from existing combustion engine vehicles, and especially we want to be in this other 150 billion that are going to come, hopefully with newcomers. At the same time, there is car services that we target a lot because of the needs that we can have to solve. And they're going to grow a lot. There are already 600 million passengers worldwide, and they're going to be much more. We all know that the ownership is declining versus the usage needs. So, and the connected car business, all the technology companies now are developing also automotive sections, like the big ones and startups. It's going to grow. These are two markets that are changing the way we relate to mobility. So, in aggregating our demand under a single platform makes us able to scale. We can focus on niche markets and niche mobility needs, but at the same time, it's the same platform. We can have higher volume and scale. So the possibilities with OS vehicle are really infinite. Now, as I was telling you, we want to be at the center of this ecosystem. We want to be tangible. We want to drive the unbundling of the automotive corporation, just like it has happened, for example, for banks, where now all different providers have different products. Now this can happen also in the automotive sector. We don't want to have a vertically integrated capital junction, another Tesla or another General Motors. We want to be in the center of this ecosystem where independent players offer different solutions to serve the mobility needs that are currently unserved and unserviceable by traditional players because of low volume, for example. It wouldn't be profitable for a big traditional player to make a modified version of the vehicle just for 1,000 units. They would never break even, not even for 10,000, maybe 100,000. It wouldn't be profitable for them. Well, if we exploit existing facilities, partnering with manufacturers, right now we're partnering in China, but we plan to add other manufacturers in the rest of the world. Suppliers to have different level of quality, for example, in price. And technology startups, I really mean technology companies in the sense that, again, our client can decide to have an NVIDIA top-level chip, or it can have a startup open source IDI system or a connected driving model. So really, it gives many more possibilities to the client, and it gives much more leverage to us to be lean and fast to adapt to new changes. For example, a new battery technology comes out, and we were able to replace the component, include a new supplier, and propose that to our clients easily. So this is it. I was seeing a question, yes.
Alberto, I've got a quick question. Since you're trying to penetrate markets that mobility hasn't been real popular in like Africa, Would it make sense to have new apartments up there also be a portable solar EV charging station?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Solar is very interesting for us, especially for emerging markets like Africa one. We are exploring that possibility. There are different technologies and there is some testing to do, but this is definitely something that we want to do.
Yeah, portable solar, especially where there is no grid, is a key solution.
It's swappable batteries.
So local entrepreneur, they can add a solution for solar, for example, system in this modular platform easily. And this is the way we make money. So the revenue model of our vehicle. So basically, we sell components and we sell services. Yes.
Well, just getting back to that last point,
Yeah.
if you wanted to support solar charging system, you also need to add to that, taking, using your batteries, the system that you designed, and using it as a stationary energy source.
Yeah, but you always have to think about the platform as a system of components. So also, in order to better use some technology, that some of the components can be changed for a better usage. So if the current battery that we are providing are not the best solution for that technology, we just help them, or they can change those components.
Actually, there are a lot of companies proposing their solution, including a complete off-the-grid solution for emerging countries. So yes.
Of course, when you change the technology, there is system integration costs. Absolutely. Not everything comes modular and stuff.
Otherwise, we have to collaborate with these companies, new suppliers, and see how to find a match.
Yeah, but it's much more possible now, feasible, because before the traditional solution are very close. So you cannot really change part of the.
Yeah, having a modular vehicle, it's easier to change the model instead of having to redesign a complete vehicle. Okay. The problem right now with the massive manufacturing is something that is also happening to companies like Apple in the electronic industry. They are trying to lock everything. Before it was so easy to fix your car and replace some parts. The car was modular. Now it's less modular, let's say. If you see the new Toyotas and Mercedes or BMW, it's very complicated to fix or change some parts. Okay? Because their business model is also, when you have a problem, you come to me, in my official mechanic or dealer, and I fix it for you, and I make a huge markup. That's the way. I believe that this system is not fair for the customer first. Second is slowing down innovation. Okay, if you want to embed new technology, you have to embrace it, not lock it and say, well, we have to spend 100-something millions and wait 5 years to embed your technology. This is not really working. We believe in a smaller and faster player, or even IT companies. I believe that IT companies will disrupt mobility faster than a traditional one. Do you believe this? Yeah, probably. Okay.
And it's a waste of resources.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also this is a simple way that we are supporting new technology, embracing new solutions, new brands. Basically, it all starts from an idea on top. Then we help to understand if there is a market, if there is, and what is the right now technology, available technology that we can use. So we help with the specifications, and then we support them in R&D. So we help them to finalize the project and to make it real, because it's quite complex to make a complete vehicle. You have to face problem for road legal certification, safety, and also a lot of technical things. And we have experience, and we also support them to achieve, to pass, and get the certification of safety, the whole legal certification in the US or Europe or other countries. And we also support them in manufacturing, okay, because we have a lot of companies that can manufacture for this customer. So basically, we help them in all these processes, and we can say like, we sell components to them, okay, because if you're a small player, you just started, you make probably 1,000 vehicles the first year. If you go to a supplier and say this, hey, I just want to buy 1,000 battery packs or 1,000 electric motors, this supplier will say, okay, come back when you have 10,000. Okay, that's a problem. But we solve this problem by aggregating the demand, having the common platform, same components. We aggregated the demand of a startup in Silicon Valley, a big manufacturer in Europe, another big manufacturer in China. They all have the same component, so we can have a bigger, better deal with the suppliers, and we make it available to everyone.
I want to put this in perspective. When you want to start from scratch a new development of a vehicle, we estimated the project life cycle to be around 5 to 7 years, depending on the class, and at least $200 million of expenditures and investments in order to make this vehicle. Right now, with our model, they can save 2 years, so the project duration, depending on what kind of vehicle, is 20 to 35 months. And we estimate it to be around 5 to 20 million, still depending if you want to make this low-speed, low-cost vehicle to a traditional vehicle. You can go as high as you want, but these are some reasonable ranges. So it is really cutting down, halving by an order of magnitude the barriers to entry in the EV market. So it's profitable for us because we are very, and it's also very convenient for new entrants in the market.
Yeah, and these are the services we provide. So from the concepting, market analysis, R&D, bill of materials, and prototyping.
Legal approval, especially. So we cover all the phases of this. Basically, because our expertise is to create a complete vehicle. So we know how to do from the idea to the manufacturing and also selling. And this is our crazy team. That's me and the lab. And Yuki, and had experience to work with Java. I think #1 company of engineering design in the world. Also that.
I am the only one that doesn't come from an automotive background. I was in consulting in the venture capital before, but I was there. First of all, I already had passion for motors because ever since I was still out, I was already working to tweak my and everything. I was reading 100 business plans a week probably, and it had been a lot that I wanted to put my hands in the dirt and start doing something on my own. So as soon as I read their business plan, I decided I wanted to leave my job and join them, and I have never regret this decision.
Also, we have a impressive sales manager that is coming. He was the sales manager of Piaggio, Vespa. He opened the market in US, in Japan, China.
South America.
And also we have our Steve Wozniak. He's a technical guy who his name is Roberto. He has more than 20 years of experience in different type of vehicles, from low-speed vehicles to super fast vehicles like Formula 3. So he has experience all road vehicles safety.
Yeah, more than 20 years.
And of course, this is the core team.
That's the core. So
that's it.
Thank you very much.
I have a quick question. You're familiar with the resistance that Tesla's encountered with the dealership market, the sales. dealers make a lot of their money, most of their money, I believe over 50% of the cost and after service. If you guys are ready and willing to, go hand out parts and stuff, I'm going to suggest that you can have some more resistance to adoption of your open source model because of that. They are powerful and loud group. Look what they did in various states. I think there's only 43 states left to go where Tesla can legally sell their, with their store model, selling that service and stuff like that. Beware, you're probably going to get a lot of resistance from the dealership. I'm going to say folks.
And for example, in Europe, we've been invited in a conference with the biggest car dealer of Europe. And we had an interesting talk. You can imagine. And actually, we divided the local attendees. They are divided because someone said, oh, this is empowering for us as a leader. Because they, big dealers they are starting to think to create their own brand because they already have the sales network. Difference. For example, the Laumann family is one of the wealthiest family in Europe. They have the deal with directly with Toyota. Everything that is related to Toyota in Europe has produced them. Okay, so they have enough power and also sales network to create a whole brand. And they're thinking about this. So this is something that we know that a lot of, directly, because I also have some friends who was in the car dealing business. The problem is the margin and the market as well. A lot of car dealers are they closed in Europe. I don't know here, Norway also. Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it's only business strong. Yeah, exactly. Because for example, directly from Mercedes, they're trying to reduce the margin. Okay, so they cannot be sustainable anymore. They're trying to make some to control also all the processes. So actually, they make a very unsustainable process that for most of the car dealer owners, they decided to it's not enough. So I prefer to close. Yeah. And that's a pity because I think that still the relation with the customer is very important. Okay, now we have internet. Elon Musk wants to sell vehicles like an iPad, yeah, and they're getting a lot of resistance. But I think like the relation with the customer when we have the vehicle is very important still, and we think we have a better way to support this.
We don't want to outplace the dealers. I think actually we want to include the dealers in our model with a certification program where you become official seller of components and parts of the vehicle.
Just to finish this, we are receiving every day a lot of requests from car dealers, okay, that has a problem with big brands, and they say, "Oh, I can do better, more than selling cars because they have technical guys, mechanicals that can easily do the assembly of this vehicle because it's easy. So they can be a more active player in this ecosystem."
And also because it's modular, sorry, I want to add that also the showrooms or warehouses can be also optimized. Instead of having an amount of vehicle part, you can have these components that you can assemble when it's sold. So actually you are also optimizing your spaces.
Yeah. Just a second, there's a question.
Yeah, well, in my mind, but it seems like the most obvious market is not the traditional car sales market, but something like that system they have in Paris with Valori's car sharing service.
A lot. Yeah.
And some other person besides Valori could decide, oh, I want to build a car sharing company in the city and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And they could work with you to provide the base stuff like you suggested, and then they put their own branding on it, whatever.
We know very well Bolloré. It's Bolloré. The exact way to say it is they are from France, and actually there is Giugiaro and Pininfarina. They are the two leading design and engineering companies. Pininfarina work with Bolloré to make the Libre, Auto Libre vehicle. Yeah. And actually, yes, our technology is perfect for services, for smart cities, like the project they made in Paris, really interesting, very great. And as being a B2B company and platform-focused technology, we help this kind of project. We don't want to just say, oh, you use this technology just for services. Actually, because massive manufacturing is limiting the expression of mobility. The problem is that when you do massive, you need to have a market, you need to sell. So you don't want to create something weird, okay, or so specific. You want to sell massive, mainstream, right? And this is something that was okay before, but now we have a lot of technology, a new way of doing things. Like also we have 3D printing, we have a lot of interesting things that we can embrace to create very specific needs for mobility. That's why we're here.
For example, schools, just to give you an example, they're working right now with the Toyota, Nissan,
Renault Twizy,
that one, and they have to provide a way for their customers to open through the app and use the navigation system. So they have to manually go there and open the car and modify one by one all the cars to fit their technology into that. It's a car sharing service that maybe has a more long-term view, can directly invest in a fleet that has a longer lifetime, can have your own brand, can be configured to fit your own technology. So it perfectly makes sense for them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of this. I've had some communication with a guy in Romania who is, he's got a vision of developing a car sharing system for Romania. And his approach to it is to create a retrofit kit to allow a conversion of not to get something right. But, you know, he could approach it in a different manner of taking your thing. And absolutely.
Retrofitting is very hard because of the closed source nature of traditional cars.
Yeah, traditional car is very hard to modify. Also, you have to think about where to place the areas, weight distribution, as we talked.
Another example,
There's a lot of people in this room that are
really, right.
Another example is, for example, NVIDIA. NVIDIA just presented their self-driving and connected car chips at the CES. We met with them. This was a marketing-driven experiment where they're showcasing this at the CES, of course, but they're doing it on a Hyundai car. The technical guy to which we spoke, they said they had so many problems to modify the Hyundai in order to fit their technology. And when we presented to them OS vehicle, they said, oh, if we had on his vehicle, that would have been so much easier.
right.
And just a little thing, if you can share to us, this is the email, info@voicevehicle.com, your project about retrofitting, I will be curious to see it.
What about the problems or possibilities where, like, the bigger companies, because they have so much problem with their parts manufacturers, start going and saying, you know, we're not gonna purchase that if you start selling it to, like, let's say, the open source vehicles, let's say shocks or whatever. What happens then is there's a lot of, like, he says, self-doers. I work on my own cars, so, and then, you know, there's been, like, on some of the newer cars, it's hard to get the part, you know, for you. It's not available because dealership won't allow it, or it's being installed.
Actually, thankfully, because we are in the industry, we have a very good relation with the suppliers. So actually, what is happening is that suppliers wants to sell more, actually. And most of the time, especially in the last 10 years, big car manufacturers, they were like a little bit like unfair with that. So this is a quite interesting moment to collaborate with them. Even if we are a new company, okay, helping other smaller companies, aggregating them, our quantities, at least right now, is not huge or doesn't really match the quantities they used to deal with. Okay, but I was surprised because I said, okay, let's try it anyway and see their reaction. And their reaction was very, very positive. So actually, we don't think there is a problem with sourcing components. Thankfully, even from bigger ones.
Yeah, and basically we are redefining what is possible in mobility, and we're using at most the existing facilities and suppliers and distributors, and this is what we are enabling.
Yeah, if you have more questions, please write us. That's not our email.
You can subscribe to our newsletter.
Yeah.
And we'll also find the product launches.
Thank you very much, all of you, for coming and presenting. It's been a very interesting experience.
Thanks.
And we'll be able to ask more questions outside of the week.
Yeah.
Don't have access to the room much longer, so.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for coming. And maybe we'll find the president soon.
Give you my.
How are you doing?